Let's now look at the data warehouse team role and the responsibilities, right? The executive sponsor is your CEO, right? Is given the responsibility of direction, support, and arbitration about data warehouse. Project manager is basically dealing with assignments, monitoring, and control. There's the user liaison manager, which carries out coordination with the user groups. Lead architect, which designs the architectural design. Infrastructure specialist, business analyst, which tells the requirement and definition. These are important roles, right? Data modeler, relational and dimensional modeling. Data warehouse administrator, which performs the DBA function, and so on and so forth. So these are the roles and responsibilities of the data warehousing team. Page 101 to 103, you should read yourselves to get a better understanding of the idea. Well, now we have seen about the complexities, we have seen how difficult it is to handle a data warehousing project because of its massive nature and its complex phases, right? But there are some guiding principles or some golden rules that can be borne in mind that would make they make the journey quite okay and quite successful. Let's look at those, right? So what about the project manager, right? It is a serious mistake to have a project manager who is more technologically oriented rather than user oriented and business oriented. Like I discussed before, we don't want data warehouses just to be excited about the technology we are implementing it in. We want to help the executives in making good decisions, and we want to expand the business when we are making a data warehouse. So this should be the goal, and the project manager should be one that should be understanding this thing rather than someone who's crazy about technology. Of course, data warehousing is a new paradigm, and data warehousing is new for most companies. So innovative project management methods are essential to deal with the unexpected challenges, right? For example, your different stakeholders might be getting overwhelmed with the idea of data warehouse. So the project manager should ensure that people become comfortable with this idea. Some points about team roles. Team roles are not to be assigned arbitrarily. The roles must reflect the needs of each individual data warehouse project, right? So you look at your project, and out of this exhaustive list of team roles, you select only the team roles that are important and that are valid for your particular data warehousing project. And data quality, there are three critical aspects of data in the data warehouse, and that is quality, quality, and quality. So data must be very high quality that is brought into the data warehouse, right? And of course we carry out phases like cleaning, standardization. Remember our previous discussion, cleaning, standardization, right? Then we load into the data warehouse. So we are talking about quality data. If we have quality data, we have got good results, otherwise not. User requirements, of course, I have been focusing on it, that it all revolves around the user requirements. So user requirements alone form the driving force of every task on the project schedule. And of course, data warehouse would grow. They would grow in data, they would grow in complexity. So data warehouses should be designed for growth, because number of users and number of queries shoot up very quickly after deployment. So data warehouses not built for growth will crumble swiftly. Just to share a joke, if I am making a data warehouse and I am using the Access database, that data warehouse won't be very growable, right? Because Access is a limited database. So from everything, this is an example that I have given. Every decision would be based on the fact to make or design the data warehouse for growth. Project politics. The first data warehouse project in the company poses challenges and threats to users at different levels, right? Some people might be intimidated that their job might be lost by the data warehouse. Some people might be very reluctant to adapt the idea of the data warehouse. So trying to handle project politics is like walking the proverbial tightrope, to be trodden with extreme caution. So you are moving on a rope. So you're very critical. You have to have all the stakeholders going along with you. And of course, you should have realistic expectations. It is easy to promise the world in the first data warehouse project. Setting expectations at the right and attainable levels is the best course, right? So don't promise more. Just be realistic. Just help the higher management with the basic tasks in order to grow the business and to grow the sales. Do not talk anything about any revolutionary aspect of a data warehouse. So some points about dimensional data modeling. This is also the basis of a data warehouse, right? A well-designed dimensional data model is required foundation and blueprint for a data warehouse. External data. A data warehouse does not live by internal data alone. Data from relevant external sources is an absolutely necessary ingredient. Remember, we discussed before that data is coming from different sources into the data warehouse. That is all external data. We might also involve training. So data warehouse user tools are different and new. If the users do not know how to use the tools, they will not use the data warehouse. So an unused data warehouse is a failed data warehouse, right? So that is an important point. What is the success of a data warehouse? That it is used a lot and it results in positive addition to your business.